Hi, hello Teaquilters. Welcome to March 8th, 2025's live sewing chat. It is 8 p.m. Central Standard Time and we're on for 2 hours tonight. So if you got comments, questions, concerns, drop them in the chat box below. If you can't comment in the chat box while I'm live, that means you're not subscribed. So hit the subscribe button and then turn on your notifications so you'll be notified whenever I'm live, and then you can chat with us as well. Let's see. I'm going to just read some chat stuff and then I'll talk about what I've been doing since Wednesday, I guess, when I was last live. So let's do that first. We've got Sue GSD here reminding us that we have 109 is the magic number, Teaquilters. It will be a beautiful day in St. Louis today. Can't wait for Retreat 2025. So that's right. We got Retreat coming up June 24th through the 29th. It's a 5-night, 6-day retreat. We also have shop hopping included, one of them being on a chartered bus going in shopping into Illinois. If you're local or in the metropolitan St. Louis area and you want to do the bus hop trip, you are more than welcome to join us. The fee is $90. We leave like at 5:30 a.m. on the bus, and then we come back about 8, 9 something at night. But we always have a great time at the shop hops. Kevin and I have already done a run of the shops. We feel we can do 4 shops in one day if people get in and out like they did last year. So you're going to have to train the newbies how to get in and out of these stores so we can get to see more stores. And hopefully you all are going to enjoy the shop hop as well as the Teaquilts retreat that's coming up. So thank you, Sue. Maddie is here. We also have Darcy saying hi to everyone. Give T her thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications. Also check out that Facebook page, which is Teaquilts LLC. And make sure that you answer the 4 questions. And over there, you get to share your projects with us, as well as if you're needing some assistance on something. I'm sure people in the group will help you if I'm not immediately available. So thank you, Darcy. Joy Creations is here. Dee Branson, Sharon Lewis, Betsy Layton. Bessie says, I thought it was already after 8, but it's after 7. Right. Delia Castro Shorts here. Elaine Doucette. Kevin the Quilter is here. Irish Cell Lady. Carol Williams. Brenda Foley is here. Zandra Odom is here. Sonia Mack. Carissa Renninger. Claudette Bettis. Hey, Claudette, I miss you, but I'll be seeing you real soon, girl. Kevin the Quilter is also reminding you about the Teaquilts 2025 charity is pillowcases. We're trying to collect 200 pillowcases. And he says, thanks to all who have donated and are making pillowcases. Send in by May or bring to retreat. So yes, we are about 75% of gold. If you're interested in making a pillowcase or more, you can make just one or you can make as many as you like. And send it to my P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box 38205, St. Louis, Missouri, 63138, addressed to Teaquilts. And all that information is in the description of my video, so you don't have to worry about writing any of that down. It's always available to you on YouTube. Zola McKenzie is here from West Michigan. I think I said that, but just to make sure. Michelle the Quilter. Francis Jackson's here. Patricia Priest. Oh my goodness, Darcy cut her finger pretty bad. It took 4 hours to stop bleeding. Be careful with your rotary cutter. I've been into the ER twice for such things like that. And the only reason I went the second time was because I couldn't get it to stop bleeding at home. And so I got real nervous, but they didn't do anything. Not a thing. Dorothy Battle is here. So hopefully Dorothy will feel better in a bit. Vivian Calvi is here. Shelly, hello and welcome back. Said her rent is paid. Thank you so much. Claudette Hall is here. A lot of people giving Darcy well wishes, so thank you all so much. Remo JS is here also saying give your thumbs up to show your love and support to the most honest educator. Stop lurking. You are watching. Join. Trust. We don't bite. Oh my goodness. Hey, Katie, the Greenland Quilter is here. Welcome, welcome. Sheila Willis is here. Let's see, who else? I'm trying to skip the comments where you all are talking to each other. Teresa Forster's here. Janice Miller. Lenore Thomas. Needle Riot. I like the name. Maddie saying her rent's paid. Thank you, ma'am. Tracy Middlebrook is here saying her rent is paid. So welcome to the chat. Jason Lewis. Hey, Jason, I know you called me earlier today and then I forgot to call you back because I had such a long day. I was in the middle of hosting So Busy Quilt Guild today, hence the shirt that I have on. So you all got a sneak peek of my day. Linda Williams is here. Helena Marie Carter. Quilts by Carmel is here. Listening while working. Dolores Phelps. T. Roberts. T, I just want to let you know that I just received my book today and thank you very much. So you're welcome. Thank you for ordering. The date for those that are waiting for the book that has the 100 borders, but also talking about batting and finishing and things like that. It was supposed to be shipped to Checkers was supposed to have them by March 7th. That has been moved to March 27th. So hopefully it doesn't get moved again. So if you're wondering where your book is, a couple of you have already prepaid. So I understand why you would be looking for your book. They were supposed to come in Thursday to Checkers. And then it would take them like a couple of days to get them to me. So I'm hoping by April 1st that the books are here, but we shall see. And if I see where Checkers have them in, but I haven't placed an order and they're holding them until I place my next order, I'm going to call them and say, can you send me my books, please? So, yeah. Paula S. is here. Trying to skip where people are talking to each other. Okay, let me see. And Carissa was saying that she paid about her book, but not too worried about you forgetting to send it, laughing out loud. No. Soon as I get them, I will send them. But what I did was the first 4 people that had requested the books, because that's what they originally said they had in stock when I first ordered. And then when I ordered, it still said it had 4 in stock. So I went and ordered like 12 or some kind of crazy number. And then they said they only had the 4 in stock. So they sent the 4. And then it was showing back ordered at that point. But their original numbers were wrong. And I didn't know how many they had in stock until I could send them in. And I think I was explaining all of that when I was talking about placing the second order. So I'm hopeful that we can get the books. I haven't even used mine yet. Yeah. So hopefully, I see people are commenting about the round robin mailings. Make sure that you are checking the either, send the numbers, not a photocopy of the receipt. Send the actual numbers in a text, because there is no way you can look at your phone and type in the numbers for the tracking that's 16 digits, 20 digits long. So if you're going to send a tracking number, make sure that you're sending the actual tracking numbers and not a photocopy of your receipt, because you can't do that and then you can't type in and look at the same thing, look at something else. So if somebody sends me photocopies, I don't tend to track them, because it's a pain in the butt, to be honest. So I just wait. They can check the numbers if they want, but I don't have time to be typing in all those numbers. I've done it in too many times, and I don't enjoy it, so I don't do it anymore. Send me the actual numbers, or link would work too. An actual link. Today, we just had Sheila D come in, and she's saying hello from Temecula, California, where it's very cold. It's funny because I was under the disillusionment. I forget all about Northern California, that, California didn't get snow. Well, it took one of my friends to visit, come back talking about how much snow was in the northern parts of California. So, yeah, kind of wiped all of that out of my head, as far as, thinking any parts of California is just perfect. So, I am working on Lori Holt's My Happy Place quilt, and I forgot to take the paperwork out. I ended up cutting for the 10-piece blocks that are in the quilt. And so today I had So Busy Quilt Guild meeting that I hosted, so I started sewing those. So I will show you the ones that I've already sewn at the end. And we're going to continue to work. I am on block number 6. And so technically I have 5 more blocks to do. The only thing that I've sewn a square and a square on this block, and I've sewn all the flying geese. I pre-cut everything with my 8-inch cube, my AccuQuilt die cutting system. If you don't know what that is, I'm also an affiliate. So if you're ever wanting to purchase any AccuQuilt dies or items, please use my link that's always in the description box of my videos. Before you enter their site, you can still get all of your discounts. But what I did was the blocks that I could cut, and then I got a little tired of making, because a lot of the blocks are stars with different fabric values, and then turning, like it's the same format here, might add half square triangles in the corner, or they might change the light and dark values of a flying geese, like make the dark part up here and the light down there. So I got tired of making this block. So there was a couple of times or a few times, I don't know how many, because I wasn't counting, just when I got tired of cutting the same thing in different fabrics, that I decided that I was going to make something different. And then there was probably a block or two, I'm not sure how many, that were not on the 8-inch grid. So I did not cut them at all. And then it might have been a block that wasn't on the 8-inch grid that I ended up die cutting what I could. And then I had to rotary cut some additional pieces. So I'm just going to start sewing these together here. I normally would pin these intersections. There's a lot of intersections coming up here. I was going to ignore it at first, but let's do it right. Let's cut this back on. And I'm also going to be needing this strip stick to press seams open. Yep. So, I have been sewing on my Moda Love and Hearts quilt. And when I mean sewing, I mean quilting. So I was quilting it. I was quilting another quilt. I'm trying to figure out, it might have been Joe Cormel's quilt, where 3 times I had my system like just reboot in the middle of sewing. And so then I have to go back in there and try to figure it all out. And I don't even know if I turned the hearts up on that block. I'm one of those people that if it's got a directional print, then I try to make it turn the right way. But you know, you can't ignore it because it's in a whole big quilt. It's just one little block. But sometimes it drives me nuts. So I try to fix it ahead of time. But we're going to let this one go. I'm going to let go. And so I took that quilt off. I left my machine on overnight. Nothing happened. So then I come back and start working on Moda Love, and then it did it again yesterday while I was in the middle of quilting a whole line. And I go back and I'm checking all connections. I'm making sure that my power cords are in everywhere on the box, on the screen, in the power sources, and everything looked to be fine. So then I call Quilt Easy Butler, which owns the Butler system. And I was trying to be nice this time because the last time something happened to me, I actually went through, I called the owner. I have the owner's phone number, right? So I don't tend to go through tech. But I was like, girl, don't keep bugging him. Let's just put in a tech work order. So I typed it up first. So when I typed it, I sent it into their text line, and then I called because I wanted them to have exactly what my issue was when I called. And he answers the phone. I explained to him what it is. He goes and prints my texting because like I sent the text and then immediately called. So he wasn't even aware that all this stuff was going on. And look at that. I put this right side up. I could have probably moved these flying geese around though, but that's okay. We're going to move on, girl. You're going to have 2 of them that's upside down, but that's okay. So he puts me on hold. I'm on hold for about a minute and a half or something. I don't really care because I am rolling the quilt and all of that type of stuff at this point. I've gotten this problem situation started back up quilting, and then that's when I start doing all the stuff. So I call. He puts me on hold. He comes back and he says, he tells me his name. I ain't gonna put his name out there. And then he says, I'm gonna put the owner on the phone. I'm like, okay. I'm trying not to call him, and I'm talking to him anyway. So he was saying, yeah, they told me you were on the phone. Anytime you're on the phone, I'm gonna come talk to you. I'm like, okay. So he didn't even talk to me for like 2 minutes, and he goes, we've been having some issues because they had upgraded their monitors. And you know, sometimes you upgrade stuff and they don't create the monitors. You know, they order the monitors from somebody else. And so he was saying that lately they've been getting some issues. Now, I've had that monitor for over a year, a little over a year. And he said that there's something wrong with the connection that's in the monitor. And so he was like, I bought my system in 2020. And then I got a new monitor. So that's the only thing that has changed. But then he tells me that he's going to send me a whole new system out. So I'm like, okay. So I just like to share stuff because sometimes when we have issues with things, you know, it's very frustrating. And so I was just appreciative. The owner comes on the phone and says he's going to bring it out. So They know that I use their product. I'm on YouTube talking about their product. And so it was really nice that he came through to talk to me and they're going to figure out. I think they want to take those boxes so that they can troubleshoot what's going on with them. But last month when I was quilting Betsy's quilts, my whole block database disappeared. So I wasn't sure why that happened. And I'm thinking, okay, we could have had a power outage, but it still should have, revived itself. So it's got something to do with some connection. So I guess in a way I'm glad because they're replacing the whole system. On the flip side, I'm going to be out of business while I'm upgrading that. And I don't want to machine quilt anymore right now. I'll get it next week. But I don't even I have other quilts that I wanted to quilt, but I don't want to do those right now because every time that machine reboots, which I have no control over, it's a good thing that I train myself to always save my layout. So if you have Quilt Easy or any electronic computer Longarm quilting system, make sure that you always save your layout because it makes a big difference. Every time it went out, it was still a pain in the butt, but I would have to go ahead and get back into the program, open my layout, and then tell that layout where the edge of my quilt is. And then once I did that, I was able to go ahead and start quilting. Now, the problem with that, so this is educational, helping everybody because I'm going through it, is that when that happens, when you line up your quilt on the left side of your quilt and you know exactly where that row's going to start, I could get that into the right position. But what has happened since it has started like moving my quilting because of tension of quilting, you start to draw up a little bit. And so I can't get it right back in the absolute space once I move it down the carriage, because remember, every time it went out, I was in the middle of quilting a row. I think only one time did I get it back exactly on the spot. The next time it was like up to 1/8 of an inch away, and I had to leave long tails, take them to the back so that I can tie them into the back and things like that. So it's a little inconvenient when that happens, but I tell everybody, it's a computer. It's just like your desktop computer. Things happen, and you've got to just go with the flow at some points. Computers malfunction all the time. So this is my first time experiencing the two things that have happened to me. Again, I've had my system for 5 years now. And this is my first time, and they don't even think it's with the black box, which controls Butler. They think it's with the monitor, not realizing, just for some random reason, just rebooting, because it doesn't just shut down, which is what you think it would do. It actually shuts down and reboot, but it doesn't open the program back up because it has no authority to do that. I have to tell it what program I want it to open. So it's just sitting on the screen for me to open a program. So that's what's going on with my Butler. But great customer service though. Let's see who has come in since I've been chatting. Hold on. I forgot where I was. Hold on. Sheila D. I said her. So it's at the quilting dot. So welcome to the channel. I don't remember seeing your name before. It says, what are you going to be working on today? It's in the title. I'm working on My Happy Place, which is a Lori Holt sew along that she did. I'm going to be showing you what I have done so far. I haven't done a whole lot because We just started in January, and I've decided I'm not doing a lot of the applique in this quilt. I might do very little. So I'll show you what I have when I get to that point. And then I'm also like the way some of the blocks I made, I got very creative on how to use my AccuQuilt Go die system to cut things that I didn't have a die for. So these are like little trimmings from the corners like that. So I've got all of my little extra pieces or scraps that haven't been cut into this bag, and I actually used some of these pieces out of here recently, and I'll show you when I show you blocks. I'll show you that because I ended up making a block out of one of those as well. I pre-cut 10 squares. This is for the people that's coming in on the back end. I pre-cut 10 squares using my AccuQuilt 8-inch cube system, and I got all 3 of the cubes, the mix and match, the corners, and the angles. And so I just was cutting my pieces with that. So I have just sewed the 6 block. This is number 7 I'm taking out because I don't like cutting my thread. So I'm just going to go ahead and get next pieces out, and it looks like I need to press. So what I just showed you, those little trimmings, came off from me making this block here. And I didn't have the die, the quarter triangle die to cut these pieces here. So I ended up cutting a large flying geese, which I don't have one available now. But I cut the flying geese piece like this white piece. I cut the big part of the geese right here. So that's what this green in the middle was that looked like a square. That was not a square. That was a flying geese unit. And then I put, you see these half square triangles? I had the same size as this. I put it going this way. And then so I made actually a flying geese with these 2 fabrics right here. I made a flying geese. And then I took the geese, flipped it upside down, and put these 2 corners on it. Everything the same size. So I'm very creative on how I can make these dies do other things that they were not made to cut. And maybe I'll do a video on that as well. I should have thought about it and did a video, but when you're in the middle of thinking up things to do, you know, you already got it done. That's how I came in here and sewed one so I could know that it was going to work. And then I went back and cut the other ones after I made sure that one would work. But yeah, so I'm always trying to figure out how to die cut everything because I just don't want to be having, I want everything to be bias on straighter grain on the outside. The easiest way for me to do it. I just didn't want to make flying geese with a big square and 4 small squares. It takes too much of my time. And then the flip corners, I only had to flip corner off the pieces here because I got rid of them. But I didn't really cut any extra pieces per se. So I feel like Lori Holt does a lot of snowballing corners and things like that. It's fine. It's just if I got a die that would cut it without me having to snowball the corners, I prefer to cut that. All right, so let's see what we got here. I'm trying to lay out my next block. And I'm using Tula Pink fabrics for those that don't know what these fabrics are. So on my So Busy Quilt Guild, the entire group is working on this project. The information is still available for download. It is very hard to understand. You're going to need to watch her videos to go along with it. Although I'm not watching the videos because I've decided I'm going to just make it my own way. I watched a couple of her videos and I'm like, okay, that's enough. I don't need to watch them all. And they're just a little bit, the parts that she give you for free are a little bit confusing. And I think the reason why it's done that way is because they're free. And then when she makes the book, she's going to put everything together. But sometimes you got to jump from one page to the other to go get something. And it makes no sense to me. So I'm just doing my own little thing out here. And I have, like I said, I've changed a few of the blocks too because I got bored of making the same star block. So I'll be showing you all of this stuff in a little bit. Let's see, who else have I missed? Hey, Suzette Peterkin Denton. Welcome, welcome. Eugenia Little, welcome from Philadelphia. Says cold here too. We had a great day today. I was outside like this and decided, girl, you better put a coat on. You're going to have pneumonia, you know, in unwanted places. So I ended up putting my coat on, but it was a nice day for me. Crafting. I don't know what crafting a dime with Shay Shay says. I've looked into AccuQuilt. They seem really, I don't know what's after that because it's missing. She says, but I think she's saying but they are a bit pricey. Yes, they are. That's one of the things I will tell people. That's one of the downsides to AccuQuilt. It's not like you can buy the system and then you can use some electronics and say, okay, cut this out. I do have electronic cutters as well. I personally prefer AccuQuilt because I go through too many mats. I had the Brother mat, just the standard mat, which they say you could cut fabric on. I cut on it. It cut like about 3 pieces before that space wouldn't hold the fabric anymore. I just prefer to die cut over any other type of cutting method, just me personally. But it is expensive because you have to purchase every die, which is the downside of it. So I did like when they came out with the cube system, although I had it for years by then and I wasn't going to replace all of my dies. But I did end up replacing some of them. But it is a very pricey system. I tell people, see if you got a friend that has it and try to use theirs, like not borrow it, because it is a lot of money to borrow somebody's AccuQuilt cutting system, but to ask them if you can come over for like a cut day or something and just already have your fabrics. I would recommend having some kind of sizing in them. And then you come over and you just cut. You decide what it is that you want to cut. And then you have your pieces ready to cut like that. That's what I would recommend. And then if you like it, then you can start to slowly invest. And then the nice thing about a friend having it is you see what dies she has, and then maybe you buy different dies and you two can borrow each other's dies without having to borrow each other's cutting machine, because it's very important to keep your cutting machine, because like me working on these blocks, when I knew I was going to be doing these, but in my head, yes, because I've been using this system for years, I'm going to die cut. But most people don't know when you're going to actually die cut something. And so it's just nice to always have your die machine out, available, and ready to go. So that's what I recommend. It is very costly. I don't recommend people jump into this lightly. It's very expensive. Hi, Clovis Gardner. Welcome. Cynthia Washington says, I love my AccuQuilt. Yes, you got to use it because I can't remember like what year I actually bought I bought the AccuQuilt Go. And I can't remember what year it was. But I remember having it for years because all I had was the 2.5-inch strip die. And then I had, I don't know, like the tumbler block or something. And then they give you the value die. And so those weren't things that I was needing to cut at that time, except for binding strips, which was 2.5 inches. But then by the time, because I didn't have my system out, by the time I went and got the system out, if I only needed 5 or 6 binding strips, I could have cut the 5 or 6 binding strips before I got the whole system out. So I never got it out. And then one day I was like, even with a little bit of money that I had already invested, I'm like, you know what, we're going to start using this. So without even using my system a lot, like just my test periods when I had it earlier, I'm talking about this is like 3-4 years later that I'm doing this. And I just went and start buying dies that I didn't have that I would like to sew, and made myself invest more money into it, even though I haven't earned the money that I've already spent. And I found when I bought the stuff that I'm using, like half square triangles, um, rectangles, I bought like a 6-inch cube equivalent at this point. It was to make some 12-inch squares. And so I bought all of those pieces. And when I did that, then I started using the system, and that's when it started paying for itself. So that's why I always recommend, and AccuQuilt has figured it out too, because, you can get the bundle and they'll give you the machine with the 8-inch mix and match cube because they know you need more stuff than just the value die, because that's just not going to work by itself. So that's what you do. You got to buy the stuff that you normally cut. So if you make a lot of 2-inch finished half square triangles, then that's what you need to buy. If you make a lot of 1.5-inch finished half square triangles, then you need to buy that one instead. So don't buy what everybody else buy what you would need. But a lot of people like the 8-inch because it's equivalent to 2-inch finish, which always can go with your jelly roll strip. So that's why a lot of people tend to buy that. All right, so let me press this seam on this block. This is the first block we're finishing here. How come I don't have like a time up here? Why is it doing that? It's 8:41. It wasn't showing me time at first. It was just a white bar up there. I guess from me scrolling maybe. Bonita Nance is here. Hey, Bonita, welcome home. Kim R is here. See who else? Deborah Holloway. And Delia, these comments are coming from when I was talking about Quilt Easy software, which is by Butler. Or Butler software, which is by Quilt Easy. I'm sorry. I'm flipping it around. I do that a lot. She says, that's great, T, that they are taking care of the issue as soon as possible. Yes. And then Shay is asking, what system are you speaking of? And I just said it is the Butler Longarm quilting software, but it is made by Quilt Easy. And I do have videos on my website, but they sending me something. I don't know. I think that the software, I have the update software. I think what they're sending me is updated hardware. So I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference, except if I'm trying to explain to somebody how my system setup is on my Gamma. I guess it would matter that way. So when they send me that, it's probably going to be out for about 3 days because I am not a mechanical person in the sense of dealing with electricity, building a cabinet, that type of stuff. It's just not something that I do. So when I got to go taking all this system apart and all this kind of stuff and then putting it all back together, I'm going to have to do a bit by bit because I can't take this whole thing apart and then be comfortable knowing that I've now taken it all apart. So yeah, I'll take a little bit apart, do this part. Like I'll take the box off and then replace the box. So I'll take the monitor off, replace the monitor. I don't want all these pieces laying around. So, and then, you know, you got to get everything calibrated to your actual machine. So then you got to go into the software and get all of that set up. So before I even start taking stuff apart, I need to download or take screenshots of all of my settings for my gamma so I can make sure I set it back up the same. Otherwise, I already told the guy in tech, I'll be calling you back in a few days then. And he just started laughing. Because even though I do what they tell me to do, sometimes it don't work. And they have, it's like last time, the reason why it didn't work was because I didn't realize I was missing a couple of software upgrades. And if you miss too many upgrades, then when they give you like a third upgrade, it won't take. It just was acting like it was giving me the upgrade, but it wasn't really. And so he had to go in and manually do everything. He had to take over my system in order to get me where I needed to be as a tech, which I didn't have authority to do. And dangerous as I am, I don't need authority to do stuff I shouldn't be in. So, because I can be dangerous. Good customer service is the important thing. And I told you all that, and you all have to go watch my video when I first got the Butler system, because I kind of tell the story where I had bugged them people so bad. I was just basically testing them to see how they respond, because I didn't want to spend that kind of money on a system and then the customer service was bad. But I had also gotten them through a referral, so I kind of figured that they were going to be good. And I had already checked the competition at the time, and I like theirs the best for the price. That's the main thing, for the price, because I have a gamma system, and at that time Elevate was $8,000, and all I could do was an edge to edge, and I can do a lot more with the Butler system than I could have done with the Gamma Elevate. Now the Elevate is having some issues getting parts, but the last price I saw on Elevate was in the $12,000 range. So if on Gamma, the only thing that I can buy is Statler software. Update my system for Statler, and it looks really nice. I like the whole setup of Statler. I just don't like Statler's price. And while I do Longarm quilt for other people, I never advertise it. Most people find me from a friend, word of mouth, ask me because they, in scrap club maybe. Some of my people that contact me via other ways and are not in scrap club, if I quilt for them, I tend to tell them to join scrap club. So most people find me. I don't promote that I am a Longarm quilter. I just have my same customer base. I'm not looking to necessarily increase my customer base. If I did that, I wouldn't be doing YouTube at all. I'll be just doing Longarm quilting because I wouldn't have time for YouTube at all. Not at all. I wouldn't be doing quilting retreats because that takes a lot of time. So that's one of the reasons why I don't advertise per se that I'm a Longarm quilter. I'm not on my Facebook page trying to get people to send me quilts because I have nothing to do. That's not my life. I always got something to do. It's a matter of am I doing it or not. I got too many choices of things to do. So I'm going to show all my blocks at the end as I'm piecing them. I'm on block number 7, which I need to pull out block number 8 because I've sewn all of those pieces except for the bottom row. This one's starting completely from scratch. And I don't even know. I guess I should pull the book out now so I can know if I made this block up or if it's one of theirs. Block number 8. Is it a duplicate or an original? It's theirs. And I like it because it's not the star. So everything. I got 4, 6. All of these get a light half square triangle added to them. I just need to know what I'm sewing. That's all. Half square triangles. And see, I like die cutting because I have no dog ears. I don't have to trim anything up. With the Teaquilt system, you just you sew a full 1/4 inch seam. You don't want to scant because the dies are made for a 1/4 inch seam. So you sew your 1/4 inch seam and, you know, that's half the battle. Everything is cut. So I'm going to press all of these. I wish I had put some water in this iron. I don't have much water in here either. Slide this up so I can get to it a little easier. Shay says, I really love Lori Holt designs and her fabric. I haven't used her fabric. Now, one of the girls are using her fabric. Is it 1 or 2? At least one of them are. And she did say it frays a lot. However, this Tula Pink right here got some frays on it. She was just showing like her background from her doing some applique. And she's handled, you know, on applique, you're going to handle it a little bit. But this Tula Pink is fraying too. I'll show you. All I did was cut and put them in a bag, and I pulled them out today to sew. I'll show you. All the fabric is fraying nowadays. Look at the edges. All around this block. And I starched everything before I cut it. So, Lori Holt has a pastel palette. And I'm not really a pastel person. I'm more of a jewel tone. Although this quilt is going to be pastel. I do like pastel quilts, but I look at them as more spring, summer quilts. Whereas I like jewel tones, as in this being jewel tone colors. So I just like jewel tones. So that's one of the reasons I don't buy. And Riley Blake is about the same way. I'll buy like pieces out of Riley Blake's, but I don't have like a collection of just Riley Blake stuff. But I do like pastel quilts when I see them. I just don't make them all the time. While I'm waiting on the mailman to deliver the next round robin, I'm getting fabrics together for Dresden Village. So that's cool. That's Benita. I got Dresden Village. Same little lonesome block sitting right here. The bags are sitting right here for the remainder ones. I keep forgetting how many I got. 3, 4, 7. Nobody came in and sold any, so they're still there. Are we still on for tomorrow's scrap club session? Yes. Today I hosted scrap club. I didn't feel like cooking or anything. I ended up going to the grocery store trying to get salad fixings, and they didn't have any salads in our area. I know at one point the salad had to be recalled, and they haven't gotten any in our area. So I ended up having to get broccoli salad that had like broccoli and cabbage, shredded, and I ended up just buying some ranch dressing because I'm like, I don't have time to make the mayo dressing or anything like that. So, but yeah, so I was I was supposed to go to my friend's party, but I did not go because it's across town. She's having her 70th birthday party. It started at 4. I left the place at 4. It was across town. It was going to take me about 45 minutes to get there at least. And I couldn't find my wallet that has my driver's license in it. Now, on Wednesday, I still haven't looked for it. I'm like, I don't have time for that. On Wednesday, I ordered the Warm and Natural batting. And I remember taking my wallet out of where I have it all the time, ordering the batting. And I was talking to that lady for so long with Warm and Natural that I don't forgot where I put it after I hung up the phone talking to her, okay? I looked in all the normal spots, you know, the normal spots. But yeah, so I got to find that. But I'm like, we'll worry about that on another day. I don't have time for that right now. So tomorrow we will have, why am I doing that? Let's see. None of these seams cross each other, so they don't need to open. I'll just press them out. Oh, I do have water. I have another small bottle. Didn't see it. Let's put some water in here. We'll just put this back for right now. Okay. We got some water in there for right now. So I did not want to drive across town because I'm like, at the rate my day was going today, it would be the day that I would get stopped by a police officer and don't have my license. And so I was like, absolutely not. I did call her to explain the situation, but it's like, I can't do that one. So I did not even go to her party. And she had moved out of town, so I don't get to see her as often. She and I used to be the Girl Scout leaders. She was the main person that had started it up. She's always done things for and with her children. And I was one of those parents that I never dropped my kid off. And after she realized I wasn't going anywhere, she put me to work. So I did some of the group leading of badge earnings, but I also I handled the bridging ceremonies and I handled the cookie sales. And boy, did I sell a lot of cookies. All right, so that's another block. We'll show you all the blocks at the end. We'll have a show and tell. Let me catch up with this chat. Hi, Betty Ward. Welcome. Sharon says, that's cute, T. Thank you, T. Your blocks are pretty. Thank you. I'm going to show all of them at the end. Shay Shay says, cutting is her least favorite task. Yes. Jacqueline Mason is here. Says, that block is cute. Thank you. Yeah, I had to just stop when names have all the letters pushed together. I have to stop and like dissect each one. When I name my files, I put everything together so I don't have to do those underscores for the spaces. But what I do, every word I start with a capital letter. So when it's not every word with a capital letter, then I have to stop and pause because I'm used to reading everything with the capital letter being the first word. So when I didn't see the O with a capital letter, then I had to stop and try to figure out what is it that I'm reading, because I can see small text without any glasses. I'm nearsighted. And so when I have my glasses on, they don't focus as well when it's real tiny on the screens. I have to take my glasses off and I can read a lot better. The small stuff. Hi, Minnie Doula. Welcome. I cut most of the blocks. It was 1 or 2 blocks that had other things that I couldn't cut with a die cut, and I cut those pieces, but I cut most of it with my die cut, or I modified the blocks. And I even modified, like, I'll talk about it when I show it to you. I modified one block. I could have cut it with the die cut the way that it was sitting there, but I wanted the block that was similar to that. So, and she doesn't really name these blocks in here. They're just traditional patchwork blocks, and she doesn't name any of them. But yes, I was able to die cut what I wanted to die cut, and I just cut, like, I may have rotary cut some rectangles or something like that. That's about it. T. Roberts, one of my mistakes is not keeping it out. Right. You got to keep the die cutting system out. Hi, Sonia Mack, and she says great recommendation. I think on the same thing when I was talking about AccuQuilt, buying things that you regularly cut on a regular basis, like all of these half square triangles. Do you think I would really be making this type of block? I probably would, because I've been a scrap quilter all my life, but those die units make it a whole lot easier for me to cut something like that. And I love, love, love that I don't have dog ears on my half square triangles, and I didn't have to paper piece them. I didn't have to put bias edges on the outside, because I hate the techniques where they tell you to sew and then cut, and then you've got bias edges all on the outside. I don't like it. I want straight of grain on the outside of my blocks at all times if possible. Except for like strings and crumbs where I'm going to square them up after the fact. But if I'm cutting pieces to the correct size, I don't want bias edges out there. Things stretches. Hi, Rhonda Barlow. Welcome to the chat. Holly Duvall. I'm laughing at Rhonda. It's not funny, girl. But she's saying, question, what do you use to get micron pen ink out of cotton? Me personally, I have absolutely no idea, because I've never tried to erase that pen. It's a permanent fabric marking pen. Now, I don't know what removes ink out of fabric. Maybe somebody else in the chat can help you. But, girl, I use that pen because it does not wash out. I remember I've had a Sharpies, especially some colors, where when I washed them, I had a blue Sharpie, and the undertone, it's like dyeing your hair. Each color has an undertone, be it black or brown or green. And I washed that shirt that had blue marker, and it came out with the brown undertone, and it was god awful ugly. You know what it looked like on the shirt, right? I don't have to tell you what a brown undertone looks like on a sky blue shirt. But it was not very pretty. And so I stopped using Sharpie markers on fabrics for that reason. T says, trying to get retreat box ready for mailing. Got to open my Xmas box tomorrow, girl. This girl is something else. She has sat and watched me open Missouri Star's Countdown to Christmas box every night just about. And then she hasn't even opened her own, and she still hasn't to this day. That is too funny. I don't know how you do it. I can wait until it's time, but waiting past the time, no, absolutely not. It's too funny. Oh my goodness. Darcy is reminding you all, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button already, to please do so. She says we need more of them. Shut up, Kevin. She says that iron seems to be really good. Your fabric is flat. Yes. I like steam in my iron, so I do use a steam iron. But yes, nice and flat is what I'm going for. And what block am I on? I'm on block number 8. We got 10. I don't know if I'm going to get them all done, but I'll show you what I have. We're at 9:04. I think I started with 6. I started with 6. Oh, I'm like, what are these for? They're too big. I got to put pieces onto these. On some of them anyway. And it's not this one, but we got to press them all anyway. The last one is under my needle, but I don't need those right now. Need these two. So I got quite a few of Tula's collections. I don't ever buy like all of her stuff, like a whole fat quarter bundle or anything like that. I'll buy like a kit or something and get some Tula fabric that way. And so I'm just mixing up all the Tula fabric. Trying to figure out which way I want to go first. Let's go this way first. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I sewed the wrong sides to a right side. And we can't have that here. I have to go out of my glasses just to see the stitches. I do stitch at a 2.0. I know most people stitch at 2.5, but I like 2.0. So that's what I stitch at. So it takes me a little minute to get under the first one. And I'm just using my snips instead of a seam ripper. Since they right here in my face. All right. Take off all of these. Yep. So the wrong sides together. Wrong side to a right side. So let's press this one flat to get it to lay back the other way. And put them right sides together, please. Oh my goodness. All right, one more shot, girl. right. This one can now get pressed. Okay. I still haven't gotten down to the bottom of the chat. Hi, Lucky Sinclair. Deborah Holloway T, how do you do some projects at once? So many projects, I think, at once. I have a problem keeping up with just one. Girl, I don't have a choice. I'm in all these different groups doing all these different things. I got to get stuff done. Otherwise, I'm going to be really behind. I don't have to. The only block I have to make on my happy place is the sewing machine block. That's what we said. And so everything else is a bonus. So I cut out all 10 of the piece blocks because I figured, well, sort of, I cut 10 piece blocks. I can't remember how many of hers I actually cut, but I cut 10 of them. And so I wanted to make sure that I'm like, it's easy to make piece blocks. She's got like a button jar, like she used a button fabric and made a button jar, but it's applique. But I'm gonna make a button jar that is pieced. So I'm just gonna do a different take on some of her stuff, and then some of her stuff is not going in at all. Like one of the things that she did was she's added in, like in my happy place, she added in cross stitch and knitting, and I'm not doing any of that. I'm not adding that in. Now one girl has added in a cross stitch, actual cross stitch piece. Other people are substituting blocks at their leisure. Like I said, the sewing machine is the only block that has to be consistent. So that way, when we look at them years down the road, we'll know that it's my happy place quilt of your happy place, doing it your way. So. Hi, Sue Allen. Welcome. Hey, Jeff Galonia. Welcome. He says, hey, the best teaching friend and all the tea quilters out there. I hope all are having a good weekend. Yes, yes, and yes. So let's put this over there. Turn it down. So the tip doesn't go in first. All right. I think we're ready to make 4 patches out of these now. So we will make sure everything is upright, ready to go. All right. I'm still playing with directional prints that I don't need to be playing with, but I'm doing it anyway. To the best of my ability. It's still going to be some pieces upside down, but you know. Wouldn't be me without the torture of trying to make everything right side up after it's been cut. And it's not a big deal. This fabric print is so little. It's not going to matter, but you know. I might see something and freak out. All right, so we got quite a bit here to press now. And I also need to sew these pieces to that. So we got a lot of pressing and making my larger 4-patch blocks. There. My little desk down here is sweating from the steam in front of my mat. All right, we got what we could press done. So now we're going to make these units. I got so many projects, it's ridiculous. I ain't gonna even try to name them because every time I name the projects, I forget something. I'm really glad that I did not put that Underground Railroad quilt on there, because that would have been some tedious quilting to have to start and stop on. So I'm glad I wasn't quilting those. I still haven't gotten to the bottom of this chat. Paula S. says, T, you drive without your license? Not intentionally. I didn't have a choice today. But I was in my neighborhood. My husband come right on down the street and get me. I didn't have a choice today. That's why I did not drive 45 minutes out of my own neighborhood. Everything I did today was in my neighborhood. So yes, I did. Sometimes there's just an emergency. You just got to do what you got to do. Just got to. But I didn't have to drive across town. That's for sure. If you're hosting an event and people are on their way, you don't have a choice when you realize your license is not where it's supposed to be. I had to go. I had to go. Today was a day. I thought I had lost $60 because since I don't have my wallet, now I got to have cash. And I thought I had lost it. So I couldn't find it when I was in the store. So I went back out to my car, got more money I have like a little hiding space for gas just in case I'm somewhere suspect and I don't want to pull out any cards. So I ended up using that money. And yeah. And then it took me about maybe, I don't know, about an hour and a half later for me to realize I did not lose it. I was in my head. I was still fine. When things happen to me, I still look at the most positive thing that I can get out of it. And I just said to myself, well, you just blessed somebody today, and I have to keep it moving because I got things to do. I can't find my license. At this point, I feel like I've lost $60. I got to host people. I didn't have cooked food. I couldn't go pick it up, so I had to ask my husband to get pizza. So yeah, we had pizza and salad, and then I had like various different types of snacks that I brought, and grapes. I brought grapes. So yeah, sometimes you just don't have a choice. Things happening to you. You got to keep living, keep moving. That's why I wasn't driving across town. I was like, not today. Mm. All right. I need a Missouri friend who can travel and have their own money. That's what I need. I want to go places, but I've gotten older. I don't know why I don't want to go by myself anymore. So I need a friend. I'm gonna go take road trips, maybe visit some of you guys. If it's an 8-hour or less drive, I don't mind doing it by myself. But when it comes to like more than 8 hours, like I got to get a hotel and all of that kind of stuff, then I like to have somebody with me. I don't know why this is kind of janky. You know, we gonna make it work though. I don't know what's up with that. A little weird. I'm gonna put this one at the bottom instead of the top. So that means I'm gonna be sewing them backwards. I don't know why that one's a little weird. Okay, let's piece this one. Okay, let's see if this one's like that. I did the little swirl spinning of the seams, but it still should have not done that. We shall see. All right, let's heat set this one before I do it, just to make sure. Hi, Leetta Bryant. And Sue Allen says, I do, but thank you for the info. Yes. I still get confused with bias and straight edges. That's Shay Shay. There are times when bias edges can be your friend, but if you're trying to keep your quilt block square, and it's best to have them with straight of grain on the outside. There are times that, you know, some patterns or some people, some different ways you make half square triangles, your edges will not be biased. If you stitch, take two 5-inch squares and stitch around the outside edges on all 4 sides, and then you cut it diagonally twice, you're going to have biased edges out there. Just weird. All right. Time is it? 9:21. I'm trying to keep track of my time here. Let me get down to the bottom of some of this. I'm probably never going to get to bottom. Somebody was saying, Bonita telling Rhonda prayer. Paula says, try dabbing fabric with alcohol. My brother is here watching basketball game and time got away. Linda says, I love my AccuQuilt system. I have 8, 10, and 12-inch sets. The prices have increased over the last 4 to 5 years. Yes, AccuQuilt was sold, and as soon as it was going through the sale phase, I noticed the prices were higher. There weren't as many sales like there used to be. And then they were sold before they even told all of that to the public. I kind of had a clue by the what the prices are. Now they're getting back into some sales. Now I think they're realizing that quilters are going to buy when stuff is on sale more than when it's not. So I think they've been putting certain things back on sale now. Sue says, I love AccuQuilt and have almost all the dyes. I have enough. They keep coming out with stuff, and I've been trying to ignore AccuQuilt. So, that's if I had to say a negative thing, it would be, yes, you cut more fabric, but I got so much fabric that an extra ½ inch isn't going to matter to me when I'm cutting. And then the other negative for me is that I don't like their sales pitches. You know, it's not, they try to act like they're educating you, but it's really their sales pitches, and I don't like that. It's like going to talk to a used car salesman, and I don't like that. So I quit watching their shows. Now, they may have changed since they've been sold, because I haven't watched in a long time now, but I just didn't like the sales pitch. I'm not one of those people where I want you to like stuff it down my throat. Hi, Anita. She says her rent is paid. Yolanda Riza is here. Her rent is paid. Carol Williams is here saying hi to Joe Carmel. Darcy saying the boys state hockey tournament just ended. Moorhead won. They have been there 9 times, and today they finally got it. I don't know anything about it. But congratulations for your team. I'm looking for someone from North Carolina to come to retreat with me. That's Minnie Dula. Teresa says, well, that did crack me up. Want a friend has their own money. I get it, right. I don't need just a friend. I need a friend that's got a couple of things. I need a friend that, one, has their own money, and 2, can travel, because some people don't like traveling, which is my husband. That's why I can't go anywhere, because he won't go with me. And so have your own money, can travel. So I need somebody that's like retired. So, I got some stipulations on it. I'm ready to go some places. And I don't want to necessarily fly everywhere, because I want to do the stopping in between. We got to stop at the quilt shops, Crazy. Here's a block where I had to rotary cut the piece on the rectangles here, because they weren't the size that I had a die for. And I don't know if this is one of my blocks or theirs, so let's check it out. It's theirs. It's another star. But it's at least a little, it's different. I got a lot of 4 patches and stuff and things. So I got some stuff to sew here. And these are flying geese. So I basically wanted to just pull out something so I can get my other piece off. And make sure that I have all my right sides together. That's important. I may not finish. I don't know, because I'm reading and talking. I may not finish block number 9. This is the bottom block. Paula says, T, will you consider a quilt retreat on a cruise? Just asking. Yes, the problem with that is sewing machines. you have to pay for the person, and most of the time they're bringing their family. So you have to pay for at least 2 people. Most cruises will give you third and fourth person in a room free if they, bring children. But you have to pay basically for 2 more people to attend the retreat. And I don't know how they get paid after that, like what they want. I don't know. So consider it, yeah. It's almost like everybody that has done it has their own person that they're hooked up with. And that person won't do it for anyone else that's not affiliated with that. And part of that is because they're trying to sell sewing machines as well. So I don't know how all of that works, and I don't have that contact. I do know a Bernina dealer. I just don't know how you would get them to do that. And some people say, because I thought whenever classes and things went on, because I've been learning a few things, that dealership has to buy those machines. They're not on loan from that sewing machine manufacturer for you to use to promote that product. That dealership has to purchase all of those machines, and then they're trying to sell them so that they don't, so that number one, that they make a sale on the sewing machine. It has no difference of whether you're on a cruise or not. And then number two, they're on the cruise and they don't have to ship it back because they already paid to ship it there. So they're trying to sell you the machine. I remember we were on that ship for, I think it was 17 days, 18 days. And the last, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, it was like it was all about selling the machines all of a sudden. So, would I consider it? Yes. It's a difficult task, though. Without having... I would have to talk to the one person I do know personally that owns a quilt shop that's a dealer, and he's a Bernina dealer. And I just don't see somebody doing that. Like, what am I giving him for him to do that? I don't know the contract side of that. So that's the dilemma that I have. And I wouldn't, of course, be the only one teaching. It'll be other people teaching. You'd have choices of classes. I wouldn't be the only one teaching. And I probably wouldn't want to teach at all. I would, because if I'm coordinating and organizing, that's enough. So, but yeah, I might do a lecture or something like that. Hi, Eric Oda. Hey, friend, missed you. Eric talking about, I go with you. Where we going? I'm trying to do just a regular cruise right now. I'm ready to go somewhere. I was trying to, Holland America has a cruise next January. And I'm trying to find somebody that I can room with. Because if I don't take a roommate, I'm going to pay the same price as 2 people going minus about $500. And that don't make no sense. So I'm trying to find a roommate. Because I'm not going to, I come in the room like midnight or later. I'm one of those people that I stay up until the entertainment goes to sleep. And most of the time, the only thing that's open at that point is going to be the casino. If I meet some friends, I might hang out in the casino with them for a little bit. But I'm not a gambler, so they're not getting my money. I have $20 allocated to each cruise. And once that $20 is gone, I'm done. That's all you're getting from me. I'm donating $20. But I'm trying to go on a cruise next. It's a 12-day cruise because I think 18 is a little bit too long. It's a 12-day cruise in the lower Caribbean, not what you would normally go to, because I've been to Nassau too many times. I don't need to go to that. But I can't remember all the places because I looked at too many cruises and stuff. So that's where I'm trying to go first. Kevin talking about, I guess Kevin the quilter just became chopped liver. You don't like to travel like that. He like going to quilt shops But he don't like cruises. He don't like flying. So yeah, Kevin's too funny. Oops. T says, unfortunately, I didn't do like Miss T do, and she bought and keep accurate count of dies. I bought duplicates. Yeah, I have a whole spreadsheet now because it was getting to be ridiculous. I had so many dies. Eric talking about he tired, and Benita asking him or he retired. She knows she's a silly one. Eric a workaholic. That's all I can say. If Eric wasn't working, I couldn't imagine what all he'd be doing on YouTube at this point. And Michelle even talking about I was going to ask, what about Kevin? Kevin got to have the money, and he's got to be retired. He says not retired, but it hasn't stopped me from traveling before. Kevin, okay, you ready to go visit Benita in North Carolina? We can go to North Carolina this month. Let's go. Let's just put everything on hold. I'm ready to go. At least that's all car. Kevin hates flying. So. And Delia says Holland American cruises are awesome. I enjoyed the cruise, and it's an older crowd. I think I kind of enjoyed, like, we probably had about, I don't know, 5 to 7 kids or something on there. I hardly ever saw them. I only saw them a couple times. And it's not that I'm anti-children or anything like that, but it sure was nice not having to deal with them or the, the young adult crowd. It's just not, Holland America is more, I'd say, if you're looking at average age, I would probably say like 60-ish. But there are people in other age groups too, but not 20-year-olds, okay? Not your college kids going on a trip or something. No, we don't do that. Eric talking about we are the entertainment. Carl says, Mike Gill did a quilt cruise and incorporated the cost of the machine in the individual's cruise price. So everyone went home with a machine. It was a lightweight machine, yeah. And some people are okay with that. And then some people, like, when I have them come to my retreats, it's like in their head, like, I know that I can't do same thing on my Bernina as I can do on my Foff. My Foff is, what, about 30, 40 years old or something. I don't know what year that thing was made right now. The older Foff I have. And so it's not going to sew the same. So, my old Singer, which I love sewing on at the time, it's not the same as newer updated machines. So if you're used to sewing on a particular brand, you've got to get in your head it's okay to sew on another machine. All I'm going to do is get you your 1/4 inch. After that, you've got to figure it out on your own. So, and even on some machines, I tell you what you got to press to get your needle into the right position and things like that too. So it's not like I just totally leave you hanging out there. I put any notes on there that you need to know about that machine as well. But we're used to sewing on what we sew on, and we don't like to adapt. So, but I have heard of people doing that. I want to take an Alaskan cruise. I want to do that one too. So when you ready to do that, you let me know when you ready, because I'll do that too. I missed the one trip that I was supposed to go on. Something happened and I couldn't go. It was on the Alaskan cruise. They had classes on that one too, quilt classes on that one they were working on. So I didn't get a chance to do that. So I would like to do an Alaskan cruise. Then I can say, I can mark Alaska off. I'll make sure I get off the ship. But yeah. And Kevin talking about, let's go tomorrow to Miss Bonita. He is such a liar, Benita, because I'll be ready to go, okay? I'll be ready to go. Good night, Vivian. So, yeah, I'm one of those people that I'm like ready to go places and do stuff, so. Oh, I forgot I hadn't pressed this block. Let's twist it too. We twisted it all the other places. Let's go ahead and twist this one more time. It's all crooked. Yep. Let's give a little setting of the seams here. Oh, I don't need that. I keep thinking I need that because I'm going to press the seam open, but I'm spinning the seams. So not this time. um yes, I am hoping I will be renting your Juki. I have to see. I don't even know. I don't have no list that of anything. I got people now paying for So Busy's retreat. So I haven't been looking at Teaquilts retreat. I thought somebody's name was on the Juki, but I'll have to look. All right. I'm trying to make sure I put these right sides together. All right. Take those off. We need flying geeses and 4 patches. Flying geeses and 4 patches. And a 9 patch. Oh boy. We need them all. Got all the units. All right, let's take this one off and press it too. So we won't get block number 10 done. Let's see what block 10 looks like. I probably cut that one out. Yep. But they got half square triangles and making diamonds, and I cut the diamonds with an AccuQuilt die. So it's not 2 pieces of the same fabric touching to make the diamond, but I did cut it out though. Like, who wants to sew extra half square triangles? I don't. So I have one more to sew after this. I got to figure out what I'm going to eat for dinner. I ate lunch, and then I ate 1 piece of pizza. St. Louis pizza is thin crust. The best thin crust to me is Emo's. but they also cut it into squares. They don't cut it into pie wedges. So I ate a square of pizza before I came in here, just so I wouldn't be starving. All right, flying geese are up there. Now we've got to make a 9 patch with this, so let's do that next. 9 patch. And then these little rectangles. This is the center of the block. So let's do that next. We'll get these little units sewed. We should get this one sewed, and then we'll do show and tell. We won't start on the 10th block at all because we're not going to finish it. I haven't even gotten, yeah, I did get to the bottom of the chat, but it's still moving again. Oh my goodness. What is RR? Telling Bonita he gonna be bringing the RR this time. I don't know what they talking about. I must have missed something earlier. Press everything towards the yellow fabric. And all of these whoops are ready to be pressed too. I'm out of water in the iron. It's bone dry. Because I didn't fill it up in the first place. But we shall keep going. It's almost time to quit. I need to make 4 patches after this. And all right. These little bitty pieces. All right. All right, little 4 patches. Just get them so that they're all right side up. Since that seems to be half my battle. All right, sew this on here. down, trying to sew them in opposite directions so that I can just take them apart as a set when I need to sew the other way. And not worry if my hexagon is going to be pointed on the top or flat. Trying to be free. Since they only cut 1 inch, 1.5 inches. It's like, let it go, girl, let it go, just so. Get this block sewn. All right, we want to finish off our 9 patch first. This on. All right. Carissa, I opened up your round robin. Your center is so cute. I don't know what to do to it right now. I'm just looking at it. It's pretty. Okay, I could sew these, but they so tiny they want to flip right back up. So gonna do those. All right, I want to press this one. It's 9:50. Goodness gracious. We may not get this block done. Trying to leave a few minutes to show you my blocks. I'm trying. Seems like the only one in a hurry is me. You all don't care if I stay on after the fact. All right. So now I need to press these little 4-patch units. Put all the prints the way they go. Okay. I'll help them a little bit just so I can sit my iron on top of them. Okay, that's 1 and 2. We got 1 more. All right. Sew these little things together. Lots of little pieces. Okay, now we're ready for block assembly. Cut off some of these to start. I'm not going to twirl the seams. I'm just going to press them over so we can get her done. It's really pretty. The fabric all cut up into little pieces. All right, let's lay this out. Another star block, but it's a little different than the other ones at least. Got a different center and different corners. Last piece is on the machine, so I will take it off when I sew this. All right. All right. Trusting my seam allowance because my flying geese was on the bottom for that. Sometimes when you're chain piecing a block, it happens like that. Okay, let's take these two pieces off. Add this one on. Got to turn that one the right way. Right here. This on. And this last piece is on here. A few more minutes. We got 5 minutes. All right. How are we going to press these? Press out and then press in. That's what we're going to do. Wipe on, wipe off. Oh, he's using the railroad. That's what the R was for. Okay. Now they're talking about stagecoach. Oh, round robin is for the R. Oh, okay. I thought they was talking about railroad or something. Okay. He's going to bring the round robins to you. Okay. He's telling you a tale, but okay, Bonita. I was trying to see, this fabric has hearts on it, so I'm trying to see which hearts are more upright. Because I still apparently care about directional prints, okay? That it had me pause like that for a minute. I didn't know what they was talking about. I done put Kevin on the railroad since he didn't want to fly. Oops. We're going to go ahead and cut this seam because it's the last one we got to make for tonight. And then I have to figure out what my next steps are going to be. I got to figure out my next blocks I'm making. Like, I'm really looking forward to figuring out what I'm going to do for my jar. I don't know if, well, I guess I can use, I'll have to put an animal, I guess. If I'm using toolless fabrics, I probably have to put an animal in the middle. Or the tape measure fabric, maybe. Just want to make sure. Yep. Last seam of the night, guys. What time is it? 9:57. Won't he do it? These Dresden still sitting here trying to get in the sewing path, talking about, what about me? Just stay in your lane. That's what you do. I didn't want to sew on you. Woohoo! Yay! I may have to take this one back to my big board to press because I didn't press these seams open. I got a lot of seams. It looks fine though. Okay. All right, so let's start showing these blocks. I would like to go to Houston, Eric. Oh, so Betsy is reminding everybody, say daylight savings tonight, spring forward for those states that do it. She says, oh, thanks. I had a hard time. That's Carissa. I had a hard time picking something. Hit your thumbs up before we're done. That's from Darcy. Thank you, ma'am, for being here tonight, assisting. Bonita says, Missouri kept the round robin for 3 days before sending it to Tennessee. Girl. My brother's saying good night, everybody. Don't forget to set them clocks back forward. Sorry. Sharon T, what is on your design board? It's pretty. It's the project we did for Scrap Club, but in half square triangles. Sharon, same thing. And then totally forgot daylight savings from Carissa. Okay, so my do not disturb just came on. It means it's 10 o'clock. So I'm just going to pull up my blocks. I'm going to actually do them in the order of how I made them. And you all have seen the sewing machine block. I need to still do the pincushion. The fabrics are sitting right in front of my machine. So this is the sewing machine block to my happy place. So that's a big block. And then I have 9 small ones sewed. I still got one more to piece. So this is not how I started. Let me show you something else. This star is very predominant in a lot of these blocks, and then they have something different in the centers and or different in the corners. Like this corners have half square triangles. So I got tired of cutting that out all the time. This is the same block as the other one as far as units, except that the flying geese are turned the opposite direction because the geese are in the light print. Remember, I was telling you that. And then the half square triangles are also turned differently. But these are the exact same units to make both of these blocks. Same pieces. So that's 2 smalls. Let me show you the rest of these stars. Here's the star with the square and the square again, but it has solid squares in the corners instead of half square triangles. Do all the star blocks because they were getting on my nerves. Here's another star block, but it has this 3-piece unit for the geese instead of 1 fabric, although I ended up cutting this green fabric as the same size as a geese on this block. And then I actually made a flying geese block with the green and the background prints. And then the last step was taking that geese and just adding my half square triangles again to the opposite side of the flying geese. So it was kind of like if you were sewing a square in a square with a rectangle almost, but I used a geese unit. So I didn't start with a rectangle because I could use less fabric. I could take 1 larger square and cut all 4 of these flying geese out of, say, a 5.5-inch square. I could cut all 4 of my pieces, whereas if I was cutting rectangles, I would have needed to cut 4 rectangles, 2.5 by 5.5, 2.5 by 4.5, and I wasn't trying to do that. So I had one piece of fabric that I cut all 4 of the sections from. But this one I really like because I had to get creative on how to piece this using my die cutting system. So I really enjoyed that. And it's upside down. There it is, right side up with the fussy cut in the middle. But yeah. Remaining stars. Let's see. One more. The last one I just made. It has 4 patches in the corners and then a 9 patch in the center. This one here was from the book. Very pretty. Or from the pattern, because I'm thinking she's going to be coming out with a book. And then this one here is a pinwheel block. This was not in the book. I made this because I got tired of all the stars. So I made this instead. It's a double pinwheel. I can't stand you. Miss T is a great piecer. Shut up, Kevin. And then they had a block in here that I think they were trying to say was a churn dash, and it wasn't a churn dash. This is a true churn dash block. It has double the space in the middle as it does on the opposite edges. I consider when they all the same size more like a shoe fly type block, something like that. But this one's really pretty too. I made and then I was trying to keep my hearts and sewing machines and, you know, stuff right side up, but you know, it don't work all the time. But it looks pretty. You're not even noticing that. And then I was developing some scraps like from the sewing machine blocks when we did snowball corners. I had extra half square triangles, and I had some small ones too I still got. But I decided to make a string and a crumb block instead because I like strings and crumbs. So I made a little crumb block, and then I put a frame around it. I stopped it so that I could put a frame around it, you know, depending upon where it's going to go in the quilt. I didn't want to have, you know, it might touch a fabric of another quilt block that had the fabric from my scrappy piecing. So I decided to just take one of the fabrics. I only got to worry about one fabric as far as where am I going to place this in my quilt. So those are 9 blocks that I did. And I have one more block that I'm just going to show it to you. I'll make sure I cover the cut stuff. I have one more block to make. And it's like I said, all of these blocks are traditional blocks. But that is my block number 10. And instead of this whole block with Lori is made with half square triangles. But what I did was I made parallelograms. I cut with my AccuQuilt die that I'll add half square triangle on each side instead of having that seam right here. So that'll eliminate 4 seams in my block. Plus, I don't have to sew those 4 seams. So that's the next part. And I have them all here because I got my bag and fabrics down there. We need to pack everything back up. Put bag 10 back in here so we don't lose anything. But this bag, I've been, like, as I'm cutting, I just number them 1 through 10. Like, I got to make some spool blocks. Those are my next things to piece. I haven't cut for those, and so I'm going to recycle the bags, and I'll just number them 1 through however many spools I need. And then that way I'll know the order of how I cut them or whatever, just to keep everything together. So that's what I am currently working on. Let me show you the entire quilt for those that don't even know what this quilt looks like. I got a piece of paper in the front. Got to take that out. This is Lori Holt's My Happy Place right here. So this is what the quilt looks like. My quilt will look nothing like that because I'm not doing the applique blocks. I just don't have time for it. I don't love them. I don't need yarn. I don't need knitting needles. I don't need crochet blocks. I don't need cross stitch blocks. So I'm not putting any of that type of stuff in my quilt. So we'll be seeing what I come up with. I don't know yet. It's all a work in progress as I go. I'm just trying to sew something so that I won't be behind. So I can technically stop now if I want to. Once I put the pin cushion on my sewing machine, I could technically stop. But I will try to make the same size quilt that Lori has if I can. I'm going to try to find some substitutes and do some things so that I'm not doing a whole lot of handwork. So that's my plan for right now. So you will see it develop as I'm working on it. So let me go back and see what you all are saying about these blocks. um, oh my God. Carissa said St. Louis is holding up all her stuff. I don't know what's going on with the St. Louis Center. I haven't had an issue with things going out. And so I'm wondering if it's based on the location of out. I haven't had issue with things going out. I have issue with things coming in. I was supposed to get 1, 2, 5 packages from Warm and Natural on Friday, yesterday, and only 2 of them came. The 3 rolls of batting, you know, normally when you're supposed to get stuff on Friday, it'll come on Saturday. They just skipped all over Saturday. Go, girl, we're not dealing with you. We'll see you Monday. And I just knew for sure because I looked at it and it was sitting in the St. Louis Center. But they did not deliver it today. So maybe it was some holiday that the FedEx was closed, or maybe they was doing training today. They didn't have any trucks out or something. I have no idea. But normally my stuff comes the next day. It's just a good thing that I don't need it. And now I'm finna tear the whole machine apart. So we'll see how that works. Good night, Michelle. Carissa and them saying very cute blocks. Also, Michelle. Sharon Lewis. Delia. Carissa says, I felt like that with the 4-star general, right? She didn't want to do all them blocks, right? Nice blocks from Benita and Kim. Miss T is a great piecer from Kevin. Sheila Willis says, I am going to Houston this year, T. Have you gotten a room yet? Where you staying? Somebody let me know. Between you and Eric, I don't care who. I just want to go. Shelly, Kevin and Jason ain't interested in Houston. I still like going to Houston. Shelly, see, that's why I need travel friends, because my friends don't want to go. Okay. Dorsey says, I like that green geometric. Yeah. Sandra saying pretty blocks. Very pretty blocks from C. Joy, and she's saying good night. Good night from Delia. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't forget, tomorrow we have a show and tell, 3 p.m. I'm supposed to be at my mom's birthday party at 3, but I'll be fashionably late. They kind of planned this at the last minute when I already have stuff on my agenda, you know. I'm not sitting around just twiddling my thumbs. T, your blocks are beautiful from Deborah H. Thank you. And Brenda. It will come out beautiful. I hope so. Teresa says good night. Carissa says, yeah, that's what happened with mine. Been waiting for thread. Like, oh my God. Clovis Gardner saying good night. Also Kim and Louis. Alfred says, T, do you wash your African fabric? Not before I sew my quilt top together. I wash everything in cold. I still put sheets in it. It takes about, I'm just gonna estimate because it's going to be different for each fabric almost, because all fabric, I still feel sometimes a slight difference in fabric from one to the other, especially when they put gold or silver metallic in it. But I'll estimate about 3 to 4 washings before you lose some of the stiffness and it becomes soft. So most of the time, if my quilt is in a lecture, I don't wash them while they're in the lecture phase. And I might wash them when I start, if I use them on the bed or something, or if I'm going to sell them, I still don't wash, and I just let the person decide when they get it if they want to wash it or not. If they're going to hang it on a wall, it's better to not wash the quilt. It'll be flatter for a wall piece. But if you're going to use it, then they can wash it, because why would you trust me washing your quilt? You can wash it yourself. So I just let them decide, and I give them the stuff to wash it with, or give them instructions, because I'll give them some color catcher sheets in a plastic bag. But you can use any detergent, but I guide them on how to use detergent, so you don't have to buy anything special to wash your quilts. Just for those that's interested, I use like a quarter of amount of the detergent that they tell you to use, because I don't want to load my quilt down with the detergent. You just want your quilt clean. That's why olden times they didn't really wash bedding. They if it didn't, like, anything didn't spill on it or anything like that, they would just put it out on the line, and it was just sun cleaned. But just a little bit of detergent. I still believe in detergent, though. Just about a quarter amount of what I would normally use. Because I used to buy the expensive quilt soap. It don't make no difference. I've used the horse soap as well. Just regular detergent will work. Just don't use as much. All right, so that's going to be it. So we're going to go ahead and end here, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming into the chat. I appreciate you all. I will see you Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for 1 hour chat. But we'll probably be sewing on these little boogers, because I did not sew one. And I probably, if I'm going to do live tomorrow, then I probably won't be doing any sewing up to Wednesday, because I have a feeling that I'm gonna get that box Monday or Tuesday, and then I'll be figuring out the sewing machine after that, because I don't want to use it if it's cutting off on its own. If it would let me know it's about to do it in 2 minutes, that would be great, but no, it doesn't. So I don't want to use it right now, so I'm in limbo anyway. So I will see you all then. You all stay blessed. Be safe, everyone, and quilt out.